all of our emotions are valid. We feel them because of a certain reason, because of our values. But the actions that follow these emotions are not always necessarily good.
Hello everyone, I'm John Baluyot and I'm one of the co-founders of Positive Workplaces. Our organization's mission is to co-create cultures that enhance the well-being of the Filipino workforce. And today, we have an exciting topic for you. We're going to talk about, as leaders, how do we manage our emotions during situations that are very triggering in workplaces. And today, with me are my colleagues, Gabby and Nikki. So, Gabby and Nikki, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm excited for our conversation today.
Yeah, so we actually are going to talk about something na ang dami-daming mga leaders have been asking us for. Diba, when we conduct our workshops or when we do our webinars, ang isa sa mga tinatanong sa atin parati ng mga audience natin is, paano ba ma-manage yung emotions natin when we are in a state where we are being arrested by situations that are a bit triggering. So maybe we can start that off by going to certain specific scenarios. No? Have you ever experienced a certain moment na as a leader, you experienced those triggering situations?
A lot of leaders go through a very personal transformation, and yet at the workplace, they're expected to be very consistent. They're expected to continue to perform. So for me personally, recently I've become a mother, and I've had a lot of sleepless nights. I've had to deal with a lot of concerns at home, taking care of the baby, also having a lot of logistical concerns with managing how does the child get fed? How do I make sure that everything is managed at home when I'm still working at the same time? So there are days when I haven't slept, I haven't eaten properly, I've taken care of everybody's needs but not my own. And then there are instances when other people come to me with problems and I'm not even I haven't eaten yet, I haven't gotten to do the things that I needed, I haven't fully prepared in the way that I have before. So those situations make me really nervous sometimes.
Sobrang daman-dama ko yan. Like, when you were telling that story, parang gusto mo na siya sabihin sa maraming tao for the longest time. How about you, Gabby? Like, can you give us an example of you having that moment also?
Yeah, so for me, it's not very recent. It's actually been a year. But even as leaders, people think that our lives are very perfect because of all the perks and responsibilities that we get. But last year, I actually experienced a very difficult time in my life because even if we were talking about how great relationships are and how they contribute to our personal well-being, I lost a very significant relationship. So imagine being able to stand up in front of people, lead a team, and influence people to take care of well-being when your own well-being was definitely suffering. So that was one of the things that I faced as a leader.
I'm so sorry to hear about this kasi I've seen how you dealt with it from last year going to this year. You've done such an amazing job. Like, for example, now, I can see na you've stood up on your own because you're now paying for your own property or rent, ganyan, and stuff. Hindi totoo kasi, plus, tapos, you're doing so well because you're facilitating so many of our workshops already. And that must mean that you have done something good and correct in managing those emotions as a leader when you were going through them. So for both of you, ano sa tingin nyo yung, like, can you give us like a high level parang view lang na ano yung nakatulong sa inyo in managing like those moments that are really highly stressful and triggering?
I think it's definitely walking the talk of what we do in positive workplaces. And that is following the broad framework. So whenever we've been really stressed out at work, there's a client that triggered us, there's a lot of demands at work, it's almost the end of the month, the end of the quarter, and we still haven't reached our targets. That's when we all say, let's do broad. right?
Yeah.
So we teach this in workshops, we teach this to other people, but we also always practice it ourselves.
Yeah. I love that you mentioned that kasi this is one of the things that I think it was inspired by other Western frameworks. Pero I remember it was us trying to put a local spin on like something na makakatulong mag-manage ng emotions ng mga tao. Yeah, since you mentioned broad now, can you walk us through the components of the framework?
Broad is actually an acronym where B stands for breathe, RO stands for reflect objectively, A is about acknowledging your emotions, and B is about deciding the best response in a particular situation.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing that. Let's go one by one, no? Like, B muna tayo dun sa breathe. Kasi ang daming, like, people make fun of breathing in general na parang, very yoga, mindfulness, voodoo or something yan. Can you let us know, like, what's the importance of breathing in that process? And you walk us through also, like, how to exactly maybe do them? Like, in an example.
Yeah, so first I want to talk about two parts of the brain that are very, very important. So for those of you back home, maybe you want to lift one of your hands. This will be the hand model of our brain. So fold over your thumb. That thumb is the amygdala. It's at the center part of your brain. When you are feeling big emotions like stress, anxiety, loneliness, it registers in your amygdala. Right on top of your amygdala, fold over your four fingers. That is the prefrontal cortex. It's right behind your forehead, and that is where all your rational decision making happens. When you need to remember something, when you need to decide, when you need to calculate, you need to use your prefrontal cortex. So what happens when you're feeling stressed, worried, anxious? It registers in your amygdala and it overrides your prefrontal cortex. So when you're feeling all of these big emotions, you're not able to access the wise part of your brain. So if you need to perform, if you need to think, if you need to make good decisions, you need to breathe and calm down your amygdala first so you can access the wise part of your brain.
Oh, that's a very interesting analogy, Nikki. It's like saying that if you are in an emotional arrest type of position, that's one of the times wherein you could make a lot of irrational decisions that you might regret. That's why it's very important for us to start practicing something or using a certain habit or a framework or a practice that will help us out avoid some of those possible regrettable decisions. Sige, can you talk a little bit more about breathe as an exercise?
Yeah, so before we can control any of it, one of the things that we have to do is to be aware how our breathing is at the current moment. Sige nga, i-check nyo nga, kamusta yung paghinga nyo right now? Is it deep and easy? Magaan ba yung paghinga? Or nakita mo ba na dikit-dikit or masyadong sunod-sunod and very light lang yung paghinga mo? Another thing, after you've recognized how your breathing is, you've done some deep breathing exercises, if you feel like it's not enough, because there are some people who try to control their breathing, but it's very difficult for them to ground themselves in the moment. So one of the things that you can do is actually the butterfly hug. I'm not sure if you've watched It's Okay Not to Be Okay, the K-drama, and one of the things that was taught to Komunyong, if I'm not mistaken, was the butterfly hug. So how do we do this? So the first thing that you do is to put your right hand on your left shoulder and then put your left hand on the right shoulder. Try to ground yourself in the moment and just focus on the sensation of touch on your shoulders, and then try alternately tapping your hands. So, right, left, right, left. So you can do that for a few minutes. So grounding, if we are going to go back to the hand model of the brain, when our amygdalas are triggered, it actually gives us the signal that we are not safe. But when we enact these grounding responses, it sends the message that we are indeed safe, and it helps calm the amygdala down so that we can activate the thinking part of the brain.
But that's breathing then. What about yung RO, yung next? What's RO and what's its purpose? Bakit siya nakakatulong?
R and O means reflect objectively. So oftentimes we have all of these judgments about the situation. We say things like, my life is ruined, people are out to get me, everything's collapsing, my career is on the decline. So instead of judging the situation, reflect objectively what actually happened. So maybe in an instance, you had a deadline and it's 1 hour till the deadline, you still haven't polished your presentation. Or maybe sometimes you're so frustrated with your colleague, you tend to want to say, ay nako, this person is ruining my life. They're out to get me. But maybe if you reflect objectively, what you realize is you assign something to them and it's on the day of the due date, they told you, I still haven't been able to finish it yet.
Yeah.
So instead of causing this stir-up, this drama, and instead of being so absorbed in your judgment, focus on what actually happened.
Okay, sige. Let's go to the next one. The A, yung acknowledge emotions. Ano naman yun?
So acknowledging emotions is about really naming what comes up for you at the moment you experience a stress or a trigger in a particular situation. So, for example, if you are in that road rage or in the example of your friend, what could probably be the emotions that are surfacing for him or her at that
anger.
particular moment?
Name and tame.
So, it's name it to tame it.
Name it and tame it. Okay. O sige, so let's say na nakita ko na, like for example yan, road rage. Tapos nakita ko na yung emotion, fury. What do I do with it?
Yeah, so first step is acknowledge the fury and acknowledge that it's valid. So road rage, of course, it's valid that you'll be feeling fury because had you not been able to safely get out of that situation,
Accident.
Yeah, an accident could have
Your life
happened.
could have been at
Yeah.
risk.
yes. So it threatens the safety of the people in the car, and it's very normal to feel fury in that moment. So acknowledge your emotion and know that it's valid.
Ano yung effect nung pag-acknowledge? Kasi I guess ito yung isa sa mga bagay na hindi natin naririnig all the time, di ba? Na baka inisip natin magical lang yung or baka hindi masyadong malalim yung impact na na-acknowledge natin yung emotion. So mas makakatulong siya sa atin. Ano yung effect nung pag-acknowledge ng emotion mo?
We will actually go back to making or sending safety signals inside our brain that feeling this emotion is actually okay, it's safe, and it is appropriate in the moment. But this is where it gets tricky because sometimes we feel like we are validating. When we validate the emotion, we also validate the behavior that comes with it. But that's where we need to be mindful because all of our emotions are valid. We feel them because of a certain reason, because of our values. But the actions that follow these emotions are not always necessarily good.
So acknowledging emotions is really important because it helps serve as a compass for what our values are. So in your example you shared earlier in the road rage, diba, you feel fury because that person could have threatened your safety. So you recognize what I value in this moment is safety. So cutting off the person back or chasing that person and honking at that person is not aligned to your value of safety. So that sets us up for the last step, which is D, deciding the best response. So now that you know your emotion, you know the value, you can then choose for yourself in that situation what behaviors will align to my values here.
So thanks for sharing the framework to us. So just to summarize, so B is breathe, R and O is reflect objectively, A is acknowledge your emotions, and D is to decide the next steps. Given that, and you know naman our culture, di ba, in the Philippines na minsan either sobrang pasensyoso tayo or minsan sobrang dumidiretso na kaagad tayo dun sa galit. Depende dun sa scenario. And do you have any final thoughts on that you can share to our audience about how to use this this tool or this framework?
Okay. So for me, I want everyone to know and really think about emotional awareness and regulation as a skill. So it's not a judgment of you are a bad person because you're emotional or you're not able to manage it well. But it's actually a skill that when you practice it every day or you intentionally try to practice, kahit nga isa lang isa-isahin mo siya, wag mo siyang biglain na okay dapat lahat. You can reach that level na you can manage your emotions and use them to your own advantage and to the advantage of people around you.
Yeah, I want to acknowledge like any skill, it takes some time to develop. So
For
don't
sure.
be frustrated that if right now you're not able to apply it fully yet. Maybe you'll be able to apply it in steps. Maybe you'll be able to apply it with some people, and then slowly you'll work up to being able to apply it in another context, like with your boss. So like with any skill, give it some time, practice it, and the more you practice it, the better you'll get, the faster the whole process will be.
So that's it for this episode on the broad framework and how to manage our emotions during times of high triggering moments. If you want to get to know more about positive workplaces, you may visit our website, www.positiveworkplaces.org. You will see what we do there, what our services are, what type of workshops we do. And also, if you want to learn more about the things that we are talking about from the perspective of positive psychology, especially localizing it dito sa konteksto ng kultura natin sa Pilipinas, you can also check our other videos kasi marami pa po kami mga videos na ginagawa in line with these. So thank you so much again for joining us in today's episode.